Welcome to the Hey Gen podcast. Today we're diving into a chilling story by H.P. Lovecraft called Nyalrthotep.
Oh, I've heard of that one. It's one of his most haunting works, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely eerie. It starts with this overwhelming sense of dread that's gripping society. People are
Right.
uneasy, whispers of danger are everywhere.
And that's when Nyarlathotep appears, right? Coming out of Egypt?
Exactly. He emerges from Egypt looking like a pharaoh. No one knows who he is, but he's got this, magnetic presence.
Kind of like an ancient deity walking among mortals?
Yes,
Yeah.
and he brings with him these strange instruments of glass and metal, gives exhibitions that, leave people speechless and terrified.
What do these demonstrations entail? Like, is he showing magic or technology?
Well, he talks a lot about sciences, electricity, psychology, and his exhibitions are so bewildering that people can't even describe them.
Wow.
They leave with nightmares, and rest disappears wherever he goes.
That's intense. So the narrator decides to see him too?
Yeah. So the narrator, goes to one of his shows, driven by curiosity. And what he sees is beyond anything he could have imagined.
What does he see?
Well, on a screen in a darkened room, he sees hooded figures amidst ruins, yellow, evil faces behind fallen monuments.
Creepy.
And then visions of the world battling against blackness, the sun dimming. It's ultimate doom stuff.
That's terrifying. So it's like he's showing the end of the world?
Exactly. And then these sparks play around the spectators' heads, shadows appear. It's all very surreal. The narrator, being a rational guy, tries to protest, mumbling about imposture and static electricity. But Nyarlathotep basically kicks them all out into the midnight streets.
So after that, things get even weirder?
Yes, the city seems altered. The electric lights begin to fade, the buildings look dilapidated.
Yeah.
People start splitting into groups, wandering off in different directions.
Almost like they're under a spell or something?
Exactly. The narrator's group heads into the countryside and encounters these, impossible snows under a strange moonlight.
Whoa.
Then, one by one, people vanish into a black gulf, and the narrator is drawn in as well.
That's so Lovecraftian. The insignificance of humanity against the cosmic unknown.
Totally. And the ending is this cascade of indescribable horrors, whirling past dead worlds, corpses of creation, unimaginable entities. It's a descent into madness.
It's interesting how Nyarlathotep isn't just a character but a force that brings chaos and destruction.
Right. He embodies the crawling chaos. And what's fascinating is how he erodes reality itself.
It's like he's a catalyst for unraveling the world.
Exactly. It's as if he taps into the deepest fears of humanity and, amplifies them. The whole story is this progression from unease to total cosmic horror.
But don't you think the narrator might be unreliable? I mean, maybe it's all a hallucination brought on by mass hysteria.
I see what you're saying. But I think Lovecraft intended it to be more literal, a true manifestation of cosmic forces. After all, the story is rooted in the idea of forces beyond human comprehension.
That's fair, but I still feel there's room for interpretation. Maybe Lovecraft was commenting on the dangers of unchecked scientific pursuit or the fragility of society.
Absolutely. That's a valid point. I mean, he does weave in elements of science, electricity, psychology, and shows how they can be terrifying when misused.
Right.
So perhaps there's a critique there.
It's just fascinating how, even today, the story resonates.
Yeah, it's timeless in that sense. The fear of the unknown, the cosmic insignificance, it still gives me chills. And Nyarlathotep himself is such an enigmatic figure.
Do you think he's evil or just indifferent?
That's a good question. I think, he represents chaos. So he's beyond concepts of good and evil.
Yeah.
More like an embodiment of cosmic indifference.
It's interesting how Lovecraft's works often blur those lines.
Definitely. And Nyarlathotep is a prime example of that. The story doesn't resolve. It just leaves you with this lingering dread. It's powerful.
It's like standing on the edge of an abyss, not knowing what's staring back at you.
Exactly. And Lovecraft captures that feeling so well. It's no wonder his work has influenced so many.
Yeah,
The sense of cosmic horror is unparalleled.
reading it feels like a descent into a nightmare you can't wake up from.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And the imagery he uses, the decaying city, the green-lit snow, the unimaginable creatures, it all contributes to that nightmarish quality.
So, in the end, what do you think Lovecraft wanted us to take away from Nyarlathotep?
I think he wanted to confront us with the vastness and indifference of the universe, to
Right.
make us question our place and the fragility of our reality.
Well, he certainly succeeded. After discussing this, I feel a bit unsettled, in a good way.
Haha, same here. It's that lingering effect of his storytelling. It
Yeah.
sticks with you.
For sure. Well, this was a fascinating discussion. Thanks for diving into the abyss with me.
Anytime, always up for exploring the unknown.
Definitely.